Okay, this is coming in at the beginning of the episode because somewhere in the middle of the episode, I think around 20 minutes, the sound goes out with my interview with Paul, but it comes back in like a minute later, so you can kind of hear us. It gets better, but don't turn the sound way up on your earbuds because when the sound comes back in, it's going to blow your head off. Okay? Be safe out there. Thank you. Hi, welcome to Nerdy For, the podcast where I, Amy Brown, ask fun and interesting people what they're nerdy for. And I've got a cranky old man in my room right now.
Do I have to have an answer for nerdy for?
No, you don't. We already found out what kind of nerd you were last time.
What was that?
I don't remember. Obviously.
Nerdy for Coach Class Wine?
Nerdy for only first class wine. Okay, so we have Paul Ollinger on the show today, in the morning. I don't know.
Don't hit the table.
I have a sign that says don't hit the table because people like to talk with their hands when they work in the theater arts.
And another thing, Senator.
You rogue. We cannot have women voting. Not with their loosey-goosey vaginas hanging out everywhere. It's going to get all slippery.
Like Sleeve of Wizard.
The Sleeve of Wizard?
You don't know that Borat reference?
No, it's the Sleeve of Wizard.
Just Google it.
You're in a mood. This is great. I'm going to be in a mood too. Paul and I are in a mood.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's talking about a vagina.
Of Sleeve of Wizards?
Hangs loose like Sleeve of Wizard.
Oh, Sleeve of Wizard.
Yeah.
I see it now.
I
can see
Borat.
it. It's Borat. That's good. I like that one. All right. I
like having a conversation out of my periphery. Right, Amy? I agree completely. Thanks for asking me that.
Okay, sorry you were so
I'm
good
55.
at eye contact. Most of the people I hang out with are a little autistic, and they're fine not making eye contact.
Right. Yeah, okay.
In the comedy
Are you
world.
allowed to say that?
Spectrumy? Is that what we say instead of autistic?
I don't know.
You're not supposed to diagnose people to their face.
No, you're not supposed. You're supposed to start with their humanity. A person with autism.
Oh, is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Yoda talking.
It's like you can't say a disabled person. You have to say a person with disabilities.
Yes.
You start with their humanity.
So, like this, a table.
Like I'm a person with arrogance.
It suffers from.
I'm a person with great self-impression.
So I would be Amy walks with dyslexia. No, that's my Native American name. Runs with wolves.
Where does this go?
Why do you ask? Two dogs fucking?
That's what you saw with the parents. Hey, what's that movie that from? I remember that. Which movie that from?
Oh, I don't know. That's an old joke.
Yeah, they name you after what they saw immediatly after your
exactly
birth.
Right.
Yes, that's not a hate crime. Don't Google it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Paul, having on. He was on before. We talked about comedy, and then we talked about air travel, and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I'm having you back because I just found out you're moving.
You're having me back because you wanted to have me back, and then I told you I was moving.
Well, we're doing it now because you're moving,
you.
and
okay.
because you're always welcome to come visit and be on my show. I love spending time with you. I also learn little travel tricks. Do you have any? Also, you said that there's okay. We're gonna talk about. I'm gonna be honest, rich people stuff today.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go. This never gets to happen for me. Okay.
Okay.
You said that there's a secret, or maybe it's not even secret, but a ski resort that's next level that is like beyond Deer Valley. What's it like? What is it?
Oh, you're talking about the joke about Yellowstone Club.
Yeah.
Link in the clips, link in bio. There's a bit I have about this place called the Yellowstone Club.
Okay.
Which is a private skiing resort. In the sense that you have to own property at this resort.
And that means that the lines aren't so long getting onto
there's no lines.
There's no lines. Can you imagine?
No lines.
Okay, I don't even like skiing.
It's private skiing. Well, this is a trend that golf communities, ski resorts, private hunting lodges and stuff like that you have to own property to go on to get into the gate.
Yes, because everything's too crowded.
And like the cheapest thing you can buy is like a $5 million condo.
That's one way to keep the riffraff out.
It kept us out. That the initiation fee is like $500,000, and then if you even have to do the math, you're not. Yeah, it's like
you have to have pretend
it's truly
money.
Billionaire $500 million type
monopoly people.
Yeah, it's for people that have like significant wealth.
Don't worry, I'll take the other spaceship. That kind of people.
Something like that.
Okay.
Something like that.
So-
so we've done quite well, but we're not of that. We're not airplane money.
So it's a
people.
private club, and I saw I was walking around Wilmington, North Carolina, and they have instead of having bars, people are now having private clubs.
Well, that might be because of their local liquor laws.
Oh, look at you.
Some states and municipalities, you have to pay $1 to join a club, to be a club member.
Okay.
To walk in, and then it's a private club.
And then they don't have
And
to have a
then
real
they can
liquor
fill you-
license?
and then they serve you overpriced airplane bottle, liquor drinks.
Okay.
Liquor drinks. That I mean, Wilmington is. I think that's quite different than Yellowstone Club. I think the juke joint private club is not exactly Yellowstone material.
Yeah, so are there lines at the the public country club to play golf? Is this like skiing? I don't do either of those things.
But there's lift lines. You don't ski. Okay, so even if you go to a very fancy place,
it's crazy.
And the whole bit. Okay, I'll do the bit. The whole idea, which is something I explore on my podcast, Crazy Money.
It's a great podcast, Crazy
Thank you.
Money. I forgot to
Yes.
plug that at the beginning.
It's all about the things you don't know about money until you make some money. And what you don't realize about money is that you can make money and you still want more money. And there's no end to that. And I say, well, skiing is kind of an example of that. When I first started skiing, I was in grad school in New England, which sounds douchey. But I borrowed $150,000 to do that. And we're skiing at the Dartmouth Skiway, which is freezing. The snow is terrible. It's icy. And half the people are there in jeans. And it's like 10 degrees. And you think, oh, I'm skiing. This is great. I'm doing that thing because I grew up in Atlanta. I was one of 6 kids. My parents couldn't take us skiing. But there I was skiing. And then you go, oh, where you really should go is out west to Deer Valley. And you go, oh, okay, Deer Valley. It's in Utah. Big mountains, blue skies, fluffy snow. It's 32 degrees, not 14
powder,
below, right? And you're like,
sunshine.
oh, sunshine. There's 5-star hotels. There's a St. Regis, fine dining on. And you go, this is the best. This is as good as it gets. And then you go to a place like Yellowstone Club and you're like, oh, wait a minute. This is a private skiing, private powder. Yeah. There's free food on the slopes, free drinks on the slopes. You just walk in, take what you want. There are no lift lines.
You're not waiting in line with your little tray to get your little thing of chili that costs $40.
Exactly. Who are the members? Phil Mickelson, Justin Timberlake, Tom Brady. And I said I was riding up on the lift with my buddy, and I was like, you know what? Deer Valley is a shithole. I'm never going back to that dump.
Deer Valley is so fancy they won't even let snowboarders go there.
No, but it's even that's a choice. But anyway, all these places, Deer Valley, all these high-end ski resorts are wonderful. But they are expensive, but they are still public in the sense that anybody can show up. And what happens is during peak periods, the lift lines get really long.
It gets really long.
And you pay $250 for a lift ticket.
Everything is expensive. It's a geographic monopoly. I always say that it's just mountain money because you have to say that in your head when you're buying your $40 bowl of chili. It's a geographic monopoly. These people are going to charge whatever they want. And this is the part that, okay, all these people out there in the world, like we even have friends who just bought a house in Park City so they can retire to the mountain to go skiing.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Everyone is busting up their bodies. They are ACLs, crunched shoulders, collarbones. I was at the bar, a lady came in with a broken leg.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm just going to have lunch before I go get this set. I'm like, what? Who? Huh? Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Like everyone is just I was talking to the guy, I'm like, how many times do you hear the helicopter? He's
pickleball
like, 4 times a week minimum.
Pickleball is crippling white people.
Is it?
It's in a huge way. Yeah, there's more ACL injuries are happening
pickleball.
for pickleball than like anything else right now.
Okay, well I stand behind my not wanting to do pickleball and sticking with my tennis.
Okay, there you go.
But I have tennis elbow right now.
Oh, poor thing.
Talk about crippled white people.
Yes.
My tennis elbow is flared.
Yes.
You know.
And
when I was pouring the champagne.
That was my yes and.
Yes and. When I was.
They call it mom's elbow. Sorry, that's.
They call it Bitsy's elbow. This is how my husband knows my tennis elbow is not working, is because when I go to pour wine, I cry. He's like, "Oh, you're really broken."
Just drink it out of the bottle, then.
Like a lady.
Like a lady.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever drink it out of the bottle?
No, I don't.
No. What are we, camping? God damn it.
What am I, Kid Rock? Straight out the bottle? No.
Does Kid Rock? Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's got that one song with Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, I
Drinking
think for a
Jack
second
right out the bottle.
I thought you said Chris Rock for a second. I'm like, he's supposed to be sober.
Chris Rock is?
I saw him say something about it one time. I don't know if it's true or not.
Okay.
But he went through a divorce, so all things change after that. You're moving to New York City.
This is true.
Okay, you're moving from a fancy area in Atlanta to a fancy area in New York City. Pros and cons. Did you make this list?
Well, it's fancy-ish, but the thing about New York is fancy.
Talk about public. Oh my gosh, you're going to be with the rabble walking around in the streets.
Yeah, well, you're going
to be standing in line for the rest of your life.
There are a significant number of oases in the city which you can escape.
Have you joined a private club?
No, we haven't done. So that's the funny
How are you going to golf?
I've had so many people ask me this.
We're worried about you, dear.
Thank you. So we
Where
really
are you going to keep your horses?
No horses. We've just gone so almost a year ago, September of last year, my wife and I both came to the conclusion separately and then melded minds about moving back to New York.
Oh, so
we met
it's a
20 years ago.
Okay.
We met there 20 years ago.
Was it going to be romantic? Is that where you started dating?
Yeah, it's going to be.
Because my husband and I started dating and went to Italy, and I cannot eat Italian food without getting horny now.
I'm guessing that's not just Italian food, but
cheese is very powerful.
So cheese is an aphrodisiac. So we met there 20 years ago. We're going to go back, and thus began this process of we got to get our kids into school.
Yes, a private public. What are you doing?
Well, private.
Okay.
I don't know. I just was like, I don't know the New York public school game. From everything I've heard, all the public schools you want to go to are the ones that you have to take a test to get into. And my kids, I wasn't going to play that game.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, what private schools should we go to? We did all this research online. We talked to our friends. We read articles, blah, blah, blah.
You can read. That's going to help you out.
It's going to help. And so we applied to, I think, 13 schools total for my daughter and for my son. And then we found
Did you have to go interview all of them?
We went to New York twice. We toured the schools and we interviewed. And
it's a rough time. Are they in middle school?
They're going into 8th and 9th grade.
That's when we moved our kid, and it was rough because they basically just figured out that people can see them, and now they have to perform in a meeting. Were they cool with it though? Maybe you have confident children.
They were good, and I mean, we just tried to get them to
be chill about it.
Just talk to these people like they're people, and who knows. And on some level, it was kind of interesting because it's sort of foreshadowing for the college interview experience.
Yeah, it is.
Because you realize it really is kind of just a game. And all this stuff is out of your control, including who else is applying for which grade, because 8th grade is not a transition year. My daughter, like you, has dyslexia. She's a person with dyslexia.
She's a small human with dyslexia.
And she's an outstanding human with dyslexia, force of nature with dyslexia. And my son's going into 9th grade. He's a more traditional learner, both gifted in very different ways. And so they're not going to go to the same school. But it was kind of like, each school's different because, 9th grade, you have more people applying because they're applying out of 8th grade, graduating from and going into 9th grade. Whereas 8th grade is kind of like, it's sort of a, who knows if they've got space or needs. So it's just kind of random.
Yeah.
And we did our best, and my kids, I think, did a great job. My wife was a rock star. And so, but we didn't find out until early March, or was it late February that we found out where we're getting into schools. And so at the same time, we're like, okay, well, if we're going to go up there in the summertime, we have to have our house ready to sell as soon as
you find out.
As soon as we find out. So we went through this whole process of getting the house ready to sell.
Yeah.
Which was actually
quite extensive? Did you? Because
we did. We painted in and out. We put new carpet in the stairs. We replaced some windows. We put 2 new heaters on the pool. I mean, we spent a lot of money and a lot of time really just doing deferred maintenance and stuff.
Yeah. We finished our porch to sell our house. And then I was like, oh, it looks nice now.
Yeah.
I kind of want to use the new porch. No, it's not for you. It's
that's
for the next
funny
people.
thing about it. Then we purged ourselves of 13 years of toys and books and clothes and baby stuff and Legos. It was so we Marie Kondo'd the shit out of that place.
Yeah.
And then you look around and you're like, we replaced every light bulb. Like,
Yeah.
there's like where there's like a light fixture that's out. The electrician came, fixed everything. The plumbing got. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this place is great.
Yeah. You get it real
We should
nice.
stay.
And then you have to sell it. Yeah.
But then so as soon as we found out the kids were in school, we put it on the market in less than a week.
Did it sell immediately? I hear there's a
Like within
lot
2
of
weeks.
a lot of
Within 2
buyers.
weeks.
Now, did they do? I know this is very interesting, Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do as is? And with a big bunch of cash down, because that's what people are doing now. That's how crazy the market is. People don't even care if you
We're
get.
not totally closed yet, but just suffice to say, it was a good offer, and it was fair, and we're gonna stay there for 2 months after we close because
that's
we're not
huge.
leaving until after school and swim
That's
team.
nice that they're letting you do that.
Well, it was sort of something
Part
we
of the
needed,
thing. When we moved here, they had a thing where it was tradition after you close that the family can stay for 2 weeks while they pack up. And Kent and I had never heard that before.
2 weeks
Yeah.
after you close.
After you close. So I
don't know.
It was wild. But
Well,
that was a tradition in the South. Maybe that's what they
There's
told
a lot
us.
of traditions in the South
You
that
know,
aren't
people
worth.
probably just telling me things that are
continuing.
traditions in the South and they aren't. They're like, this Yankee's not going to know nothing.
So anyway, so it worked out. We sold our place in North Carolina. Also,
Oh, was it in the mountains?
it was in Cashers.
I
Yes,
should
it
have
was beautiful.
texted you. We're in the market.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
I should have.
Did
sold
you
it
ever
to
go there? Sorry, this
We
is
went there a
not
lot. We loved it. It was beautiful.
So when you have your second home, Joel, and
Yeah. I mean, I gotta get my first home first, but then
So we're trading 2 houses for an apartment in New York
Yeah.
City.
that sounds about how much they cost.
Basically, yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, everything's double. Tuition's double, taxes are double, real estate's double.
Double
Double,
Dutch.
Yep.
That's a Dutch city.
It's like a giant cover charge to live in New York City.
Well, I hear you're competing against the glitterati of the world.
Correct.
This is all
Yeah,
you're fighting
that's-
against all the money in all the world.
That's the set that I run with is Russian oligarchs and
Yes.
Saudi princes and stuff like
You're
that.
going to have interesting neighbors that
We'll
stop
see.
in maybe once a year.
We'll see. Yeah.
Ooh. So
So-
you're going to be near the park?
Half block off the park.
Okay. Can you sleep with the sound of traffic?
You learn how to do that.
Okay.
And white noise and stuff like that. It just becomes
Part of the nuance.
yeah, part of what you
The charm,
deal with.
the New York charm.
Yeah.
Tell me how much you love the smell of hot garbage.
Yeah,
On a
I don't.
scale
I
of
don't.
one
I don't. I
to
don't.
a run-over skunk in the road.
Well, we have a few of those opossums here in the
They
great
don't
state
get
of Georgia.
stinky.
I don't know. Look, the way there's going to be things that are going to be great. There's going to be things that are going to be,
I'm teasing. You don't have to defend yourself.
that are going to be there's going to be suboptimal, as we
I have
say
fr-
in the economics world.
I have friends who plan to retire to New York because they said it's like you can walk everywhere. You can see the best shows. You can have food delivered. It's like a big nursing home. As long as you don't get dementia, you'll be okay.
I think that a place in New York and a place like in the mountains in Colorado or something, or in Arizona or whatever, like that would be the great comment, or a place in Florida if that's your thing. But like New York City it's fantastic. It's a
Yes, you
wonderful,
love it.
wonderful place.
Do you get energized when you fly in?
100%.
Do you hear the music? New York.
No, I don't hear that.
Dun, dun,
No,
dun,
no, but
dun,
I'm really excited about it,
Radar.
and I think that it's going to be a lot of fun for the kids. It's going to be an adventure for the family. That's how we're thinking about it.
It is an adventure.
this is
Y'all
an
in it
adventure.
together. This is like a kind of a good thing to do when they're teenagers too, because it's you guys together against.
They're gone in
world.
5 years. I mean, they're in college in 5 years, and
I
then we're going to be
know.
lonely like you.
Dude. It's a throat punch. It's a I had a panic attack when we dropped
Yeah.
our older son off at college.
Understandably.
And I didn't know that's what it was. And a friend had to tell me.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to throw up.
Oh,
We are as a couple, this transition time where you have one still at home and one's gone. It's wild. It's emotional. It's earth shaking. Like everything we've done was about for these kids.
yeah.
Not every. I mean, we still have careers or whatever, but and then now, like, what are we gonna do?
You're going to
And
die.
then-
You're
is
going
it
to go
just
even
gonna-
deeper into your comedy.
Well, right, but at the same time, like my joints are getting older. Like it feels decay. I feel decay creeping in. It's coming. It's nothing. Is like, oh, I'm get to plan for my wedding or my baby or my.
Well, that's why
thing, like-
that's why you will start planning for their wedding and their babies, and that's why grandkids turn into such a thing because they give you.
I hear they're amazing.
Yeah.
Have you heard they're amazing?
It's not something I'm thinking
Think
about.
about it. They're too little. Well, I got one of my sons has got the moves. So
I think I'll go ahead and indulge in gender stereotype, but I think women get to that earlier than guys do. I think guys, like for me personally, I knew I wanted to have kids, but when my son arrived and my daughter, it wasn't like I was immediately like, oh my God, this is the most emotional thing in my entire life. It took a while. And then
did you say that when you were at Yellowstone Private Skiing Club?
I'm not sure why it would have been relevant to say that. But non sequitur. But at a certain point, you're like, oh, holy shit, this is a connection I've never felt before in my life, and I would die for this thing.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
And so, but I think for me, and I've heard for other guys, it just doesn't kind of click.
I think when you got like a little 2-year-old, like, Grampy up, you're like, oh.
Well, I think when the kid arrives,
yes.
if my kids have kids and all the caveats, of course when the kid arrives.
I'm not buying baby clothes, if that's what you're suggesting.
Well, no, the women, my wife, I see her when she sees a baby, something clicks in her that is much, much deeper.
Her pheromones
I think
I
think babies are cute. And I certainly have an appreciation of children
that I
didn't have when I was 36 and playing the game. Excuse me, as I spit all over. When I was 36 and single, and and anyway.
Okay, so yes, I don't want, just for the record, universe, I don't want my child to have a baby yet. He's 19.
Oh yeah,
that's too early.
Yeah,
but I play a lot of tennis, so I have older friends, and they say it's just magical and it's so much fun. And you have like all the same hormones you did when you had a baby. I'm not touching anyone's baby too. I don't want to hold a baby. My friends have babies. I don't want to hold the baby. I want to drink and talk to you, grown-up lady. Don't spill my wine
Your
with the
friends
baby.
have babies?
Yeah, because my husband,
your comedy friends?
My husband has rock climbing friends.
Oh,
and they're young and they still have babies. You know where babies come from, Joel.
Yeah, banging.
Making sweet, sweet love.
Oh yeah.
It is interesting. We played golf this past weekend with some younger guys, and it was interesting. They're what, I don't know, 18 years younger than I am. And I started late. People in the South start earlier.
Yes.
People who stay in the South start earlier with their families.
Yes.
But it was interesting to think through. These guys were both having, they both have young kids. And it was like, oh wow, yeah, I remember like how different those phases are. I don't have a point. I just remembered.
This is part
we'll
of it.
We'll probably want to turn this part into a reel.
This is a part
because it's so action packed, and the algorithm's gonna love that.
It's a changing of
What's
the guard.
up, algorithm?
This is the changing of the guard. Is now I'm in the position where I'm like, I remember being a young person and looking at people my age and being like, wow, that looks weird. Like I'm now that person. I'm now on the other side. It's a changing of a guard. It's like it's like.
I think that's the difference between being 35 and being 55. I just turned 55. I know I don't look like it. But
Congratulations.
Thank you. When you're 35 and you look at somebody who's 55, you're like, oh, that guy's in decent shape. I can see that. And you look at somebody who's 75, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, that's our next one.
Yeah.
That's our next
20 years
our
from
next
now
stop is weird.
We should be so lucky.
We should be so lucky.
To make it 20 years down the road.
Do we buy the pill box now that has the day of the week on it?
I've got
how slippery?
4 of them. I've got a morning one and a nighttime one.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You went down early.
No,
what happened? Are they all recreational? Just tell me they're like, I'm doing microdosing with my acid.
No. It's a vitamin. It's a probiotic. It's an anti-reflux pill.
Keep it sexy.
And a baby aspirin for my heart.
For your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My Viagra is in a totally separate place.
Does your wife hide it?
That's right. That's on an as-needed basis.
It's with the dog medication.
No wonder my dog's so happy.
It's a tripod.
That's right.
Do you have a dog? Are you bringing your dog to New York City?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Is it an active dog or is it going to be fine?
It's
you're gonna have to walk
anxiety-ridden. It is a French bulldog with anxiety.
Oh, that's how many pill boxes does the dog have?
The dog has all kinds of pills.
Oh gosh.
He looks like a very old person. So yeah, the dog. I lost this battle, but the dog. No, I mean the dog was always going to come with us, but there's another dog that's probably going to enter the
market,
the household at some point before too long.
Oh, a new dog. That'll be yeah. See, I feel like one of my old lady journeys, eventually when I'm done doing comedy, I'm going to turn into the lady with the dogs. I'm going to have like a pack of Labrador retrievers and I'm going to walk in the forest with them. Oh. And that's and then when I feel sick, I'm just going to walk into the woods and lay down and die.
And let your dogs eat you.
I hear they don't. It's the cats.
No, it's the cats.
Yeah.
That's one way to dispose of your body.
Right. It sounds, it's very farm to table, natural. You can...
Burn me up.
Have you thought about what you want your ashes to do?
Cremation.
And then what?
I don't know.
Kombucha packets?
Kombucha packets. I don't know. Where would I have them sprinkled? I mean, maybe on a golf course here or there.
So you're sending your family on a to-do like
I don't think that's like I think if you ask your family, I want to be burned up and disposed of.
Right.
And, they can dispose of me in any creative way they want, really. But I think that anybody who thinks that their ashes are going to sit on
a shelf
is an egotistical bastard. To think that you're going to
clutter.
Look, I don't even want my in-laws' china.
Right? I will love my in-laws' china. I will take all of your china. I love your in-laws. My in-laws' china. They're the best china.
Or my parents' china. We've got this is going through your house. You start to look at everything. We're reducing our square footage by call it 60%.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So you got to go through and look at everything. You got to Marie Kondo it and be like,
do you spark joy?
Does it bring me joy? But not just that. But like, do we have room for this?
Yeah.
And are we ever going to use this again? And there's battles that I'm going to win and battles that I'm going to lose. But like China's one of these things that's like we don't use this stuff anymore. And we're not going to have
dinner parties.
12-place dinner parties.
Right? I do. You don't.
Well, you do, and you have this magnificent home in which to do it and all that. And we have big holiday parties and we break stuff out in our current home. We have 25 or 30 people there, and it's fun, but it's more buffet style. We're not doing, like seated dinners and stuff like that. So anyway, you got to look at all this stuff and go like, does this make the cut or does it not?
And so if you have like your urn full of ashes, then you have to be like, okay, you're going to put this on the shelf.
Yeah.
Does it go and check?
You're burdening your future generations by saying like, no, you need to take care of my
ashes,
my burnt up corpse.
I want to be put, speaking of extra houses, I want to be put in front of the beach house.
Which beach house? Your family's beach house?
Yeah.
Which is where?
There's
Wilmington?
It's owned a couple different ways. It's in Wilmington, but we put my dog out there, his ashes, and it was really beautiful. And the kids and we all hugged and stuff. And I found out that's what Oppenheimer did. His ashes are off the St. John's, where they had a beach house.
The St. John's?
The St. John's, the island, the St. John's.
Like in the Caribbean?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But I don't know if it's good for the ocean. This is what I got worried about. I think.
Does it matter? It's better than digging up dirt and real estate.
Oh my gosh. And then, okay, so I went to a funeral where they like do it the old fashioned way. And they put you in a cement box. Like first like metal and then cement.
Yeah.
And then in the earth, so you don't
Otherwise,
decay.
critters. No. It's so critters don't come and eat you.
And then do we get, what are those diseases that you can get from dead bodies not being buried near the water? And it gets
rabies. What's the
vampirism?
The zombieism.
No, I think like if you have a disease in your body and they can go and you don't decompose right, it can go.
Well, that's why all these regulations for burial. I'll just burn it up. Nobody needs to. You don't need a plate. There's nothing in that box. There's nothing in the box.
Yeah. Do you believe in a soul?
No.
Money can't buy you everything.
No, it's look. When you're dead, you're dead. Nothing happens. I had
a ghost encounter at a theater.
Oh, you did?
Yes, just
really?
last week.
Oh, tell me about it, please.
Okay, so I was doing a show in a theater, and we were backstage. It was a 100-year-old theater, and
in Genesee, New York, was that?
No, it was in Denver.
Oh, Denver.
And at 7 p.m. an alarm went off on my phone, and I was like, "What is this?" And I looked at it, and I showed the ladies. It says, "Oh, showtime!" ! And the show is starting at 7. And I was like, I would never
In
make...
1839.
In 1839. I would never make an alarm that says showtime. Mine all say wake up now. I would never do like the show starting. I especially want to say showtime exclamation point.
So you think this ghost, this non-corporeal being...
Energy
that didn't
begets
have
energy.
That didn't have any technology when it lived.
Magic box is full of energy. My phone is a magic energy box. See, this is what happens if you don't understand science. You get to believe everything. I feel bad for you. You live in like this black and white world, like ones and zeros.
It would be easier if I could just buy all the horse shit that people are selling. And just buy into some larger narrative that other people buy without
Vitamins
questioning.
Do not make your hair grow. See?
Neither does Rogaine
Vitamins.
or Propecia, but it does make your willy go like that.
Oh, no, seriously. Did you try it? Because I was
did.
told like I could put some topical stuff on if mine starts getting loosey-goosey.
It doesn't look like you need it, but...
I got to keep it luxurious.
Yeah.
So none of the hair growing back
Didn't
chemicals
work for me.
Okay,
No.
maybe. Did you take the pill one?
I did for a very brief period of time.
And then your willy went pew.
Yes. That is a very real side
Well, I don't have a
effect.
willy, so mine will be fine. Yeah, there's no vitamins that make your hair grow. Stop neutral falling.
Yes. Anyway.
Don't stop neutral falling for that.
I've been okay. Life, everything else, it's been fine.
So even when I had kids, I was like, I can never say goodbye to these people. And so I got real spiritual real fast.
Right, but that doesn't make it true. That doesn't make, just because you want it to be true, just because now you have some skin in the game, whereas before you were a completely unattached, empty soul. Sorry, body, because there's no soul.
There's no soul. Just a bag of hormones and habits. Leaky bags of hormones and habits.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's plenty of legitimate explanations for the search for supernatural, but it doesn't make it true. It's perfectly natural for a primitive person to stare into the sky and try to weave a narrative that makes sense of his or her existence.
But don't do it at the eclipse because it's going to burn your eyeballs.
Well, there you go. and you know, why wouldn't a primitive man watch an eclipse and be like, holy shit, we need to throw a virgin into a volcano?
I have night terrors once a week.
Yeah.
And there's a ghost.
What does that look like?
It happened last night.
What is a night terror?
I sat up and I saw.
This is not cocaine induced.
No, I don't do the cocaine.
Did you ever do coke?
No, I have never.
I've never done coke either.
Oh, look at us.
No, but I've heard about what happens like on Sunday night after a weekend of binging on coke. They call it the fright guy. Oh. Because you can't sleep and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday night and your brain is still going.
Yikes.
It's not a good way
that
to start
sounds
the
terrifying.
week. Sounds like a terror. Anyway, what is a night terror?
So I just, in my dream, I was in a room and I heard the doors locked. So I was trapped. And then like everything that's in my room, which when I woke, like finally was able to see, I was like, oh yeah, that's just a table. It was like bad things. And so I woke up and I screamed, no, like top, and I'm a soprano. So it's quite high. Blood curdling.
Oh my God.
My son runs in from his room.
husband.
My husband's like, God damn it. Every time. He's so over
She woke up
it.
and looked around the room and the ghost had redecorated my room and he had spectacular taste.
That is a nightmare. Someone redecorates my house. I one time woke up and I took a picture of my feet. I got my camera on my phone. I lifted up the sheets. I took a picture. I was like, there's baby squirrels. I have to prove it to my family.
Baby squirrels.
Baby squirrels are in my bed.
No,
I need to prove
come
it
on.
to my family. It was just a picture of my feet. And I was like, oh no, I am
bad.
crazy.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So you just woke up showing pictures of your feet to your husband and kids?
Yeah, well, I didn't wake them up. I was like, I finally woke up enough. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not baby squirrels. So I live in whimsy. My brain is already very creative and not tethered to reality much.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a balloon floating along and my husband holds onto the string. But no souls. No souls for you? No ghost? No. Do you have night terrors? Do you have dreams? Do you dream at night? Or are you just a robot and you plug yourself into the wall?
No, I dream. I dream
Is
weird
it about
dreams.
golf?
Sometimes. There's a nightmare I have. I've written about this.
Oh.
And I was just happened to reread this essay for some stuff we're doing. I have this recurring dream where I'm trying to hit off the golf tee.
Yes.
I put my ball in the teeing ground. I put it on a tee. and it falls off. And I put it back up, and I stand over the ball, and it falls off again. And this goes on and on and on.
Are you humiliated?
It's
Are you
not a
playing
matter
with
of
Tiger
humiliation.
Woods?
It's a matter of disempowerment. No, I'm playing with friends who have hit, and then eventually they have to move on, and they move on without me. It's a matter of, I think it's about being left behind, or a lack of empowerment. You ever have a dream where you're like, there's somebody threatening you and you can't move?
Oh, like when you
can't move your arms, you can't
paralysis,
scream.
night paralysis.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like that.
Ooh, I have the kind where I'm
what
like
do you think
naked.
that means? Wait, sorry, what?
So, yeah, no matter what you do, you can't make it work.
Yeah, I think it's whatever this feeling of paralysis
No matter
is.
what I do, I can't make something work that I need to make work.
Something that's very basic and that you, when you are awake. I mean, I'm not a good golfer. I'm like a very good golfer, but I'm a competent golfer for, somebody who's, an average golfer. Like, I know how to hit the golf ball off a tee. I'm just saying that, like, it's just this odd thing where you can't move forward, that you can't do the thing that you're so easy, that you know how to do.
Were you ever held back in a class, like in a grade?
Was I like held back in a grade?
Yeah. No. That's like a classic frustration one. I have like naked ones, and the bus is coming, and I can't find my clothes and get on the bus, or my backpack, or I'm late for the airplane, missing the airplane. I
don't have that, but I do have the like showing up for class and and there's a test that you haven't studied for.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you ever do like, this is so boring for people, I bet, but do you ever do like I have a show. I'm going to be on a show right now, and you can't remember your set?
I just do the same set all the time. Every comic in Atlanta knows that. Oh, the dishwasher bit. Wow, this is a good one.
It's a good bit. I think about
added
it a lot.
tag.
I'm not allowed to load the dishwasher in my family, and every time
you shouldn't be.
I think about your bit because your wife loads the dishwasher like an a-hole. You said
she does.
Yeah, I'm not allowed. The irony is my son pretends to be misogynistic, and he calls me the dishwasher. He'll be like, "Dad, the dishwasher's talking again."
Oh,
and then I'm like, "Ha ha ha! Joke's on you! I'm not allowed to load the dishwasher." Okay, should we talk about flying? Have you done like private? Because you were traveling with a fancy band. Did you do some?
Yeah, we were in a bus.
You were in a bus?
That was 3 summers ago.
Wah wah.
Yeah.
Okay. What was a fancy bus?
It was a pretty fancy bus. It was cool.
Have you done a private plane recently?
Have I done a private plane? Have I been on a private plane recently?
Do all your fancy rich people
I
stuff.
have not been on a private plane in a few years.
Are you diamond?
I think I'm platinum.
Boo. No.
It's not even, it's like, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't.
Get out of my home.
It doesn't even like.
You didn't check him at the door?
If you're going to the same airport everybody else does, it doesn't matter what
Well, this is a problem. Everyone who has any status on Delta lives in Atlanta, basically.
Well, you have to.
And then so everyone's already like better than you on the upgrade list.
You have to, if you live in Atlanta and you want to fly Delta, you have to have the credit card.
Yes.
You have to fly everywhere you go on Delta.
Did you get the tattoo? I got the tattoo.
The tattoo.
No, I'm just kidding.
The Delta tattoo.
How far are we taking this?
I got the Van Dyke. It's what I got, the Delta Van Dyke.
Oh, is that like the piercing of the wiener thing?
Yeah, something like that.
It's the Prince Charles,
Yeah,
Prince
Prince Charles.
Albert. It's Prince Albert.
Charles.
It's a Prince Albert.
What's a Van Dyke?
There's a couple of different.
Is a Van Dyke a mustache or is it a cock piercing?
Ooh, Google it.
You might want to know the difference before you order that one up.
I believe that's a mustache, not a cock.
The Prince Charles is the one with like
Prince
the
Charles.
bar.
No, it's a Prince Albert.
I think it's Prince. Wait.
It's Prince
My
Albert because
algorithm.
it was people thought he had one. Like it was someone made up a lie that Prince Albert had a piercing.
Oh boy!
But no one would mess with a royal wiener like that. His job was to he was a stud horse. he needed a wiener that really worked.
I can't wait to see what as you're served.
That's Prince Albert.
After you get served.
Okay. I know
anyway,
history.
Point being, no, I didn't get the Delta Prince Albert. I have the credit card,
do you go to the Sky Lounges?
Yes.
When you travel.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite one?
Like of all the ones in the airport?
In the world.
No, they're all the same. I mean, like, I don't know. Their big issue right now. Their big issue right now is that they're overrun since COVID, and so they're severely restricting.
Do you know the rules?
Access. Well, the rules just changed like 4 months ago.
Did you read them? Can you tell me what they are?
I think we qualify. Like, you have to spend. if you want unlimited numbers of visits to the Delta Sky Club, you have to spend, everybody with a platinum card gets a certain number of
visits
per year.
finite?
But if you don't spend $75,000 per year, you don't get unlimited visits.
Okay.
So you get unlimited visits if you spend over $75,000 a year.
With your credit card, not just on flights.
Your platinum card. On your other like Delta Reserve card, I don't know what the rules are.
Oh, there's a Delta Reserve card?
Yes.
So you don't have to spend
$70,000
$70,000 on flights.
No.
Okay,
But
that's good.
how
That sounds like a
how
real
their
lot.
new medallion rules are working. So you get the platinum card, and then you put your business expenses on the Delta Reserve card, and at 15,000 and 30,000 miles or dollars spent per year, respectively. And up until last year, you could put your Fulton County property taxes on your credit card.
I'm going to text my
You
husband.
can't do that anymore. I don't think.
Never mind.
Well, you can, but they charge you $800 or something.
Oh.
So.
Have you ever given
There's new
your
rules.
miles to somebody? Like, here, get to your
I've given them to
husband's
my
funeral?
kid or my wife.
Oh, okay. Like, you can donate them.
I've probably donated them, like some, because like American has this thing where they're like, if you haven't flown or they're like, here's ways you can keep your miles from expiring. Come on here and, like subscribe to a magazine on our website. I'm like, fuck,
What's a magazine?
bother me. Anyway, they're just these goofy things to try to get you to return to and so at some point I probably donated a few thousand. I've never given them to like a kid who needs to fly.
That's okay.
I'm
You're still
selfish.
a good person.
I've given plenty of money away in my life.
Right? Yeah, that's kind of the fun part. That's one of the fun parts. Yeah. It's my in-laws support young artists, and they get to watch their journeys of going to New York. And
do they want to sponsor a young comedian?
I know, right? They're in a like they already have one, Paul. The job has been failed. The position's failed. That's
What accent is that?
it's from Mary Poppins. When the people come to the door to get the job. It's like, the position's been filled.
Yeah.
It's a lower class British person from Disney's.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't clock that one right away.
I know.
Such a recent reference.
Dork. I know. I haven't watched anything recent. I'm not participating in our culture very well.
Neither am I.
Right?
We watched, I can't remember what reward show it was, the Grammys or whatever, most recently. And my wife and I were in bed watching it. And I was like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Was he in the Beatles? I don't care. Zeppelin? We wasn't any of those bands? I don't care who that is.
I know, right?
Who's with the tattoos on his face? I don't care. What is?
But I don't know how we should approach this, because they did this study and they had all these really old guys and they put them into this apartment and they made it be the 1950s in there. They had like the outfits and the music and the TV and the magazines and everything, and they felt better. Their necks didn't ache anymore. They could get boners again. Like, they came back to life because they were recreating.
Because there were a bunch of strap dudes cosplaying 1950s.
Yeah, maybe. But
it's like,
so if we're not
Mr. Cunningham, you look so hot in that.
If we're not participating in our culture, that means that we're going to not participate in our culture, not have a community, not feel connected to society, and we're just going to drift off into nothingness.
But what does participating in culture mean? I mean, if we all gave away our cell phones, our health would improve immensely.
Ooh.
Don't you think?
Probably. I don't know.
Our attention would be I think it's fucking with our heads. I think it's probably fucking with our sex lives. Certainly online porn is fucking with kids' sex lives.
Ooh, I was going to say, how much are you doing?
Online porn? Yeah. It's not an addiction. I don't care what.
It's medicinal.
It is. It's
Doctor's
actually
orders.
it's like a prescribed burn. Actually, in forestry management, when you burn up all the fuel on the bottom of the forest, that so that a bigger disaster doesn't happen. That's what online porn is.
It's safety measures.
My kid should learn about sex the way I did, from a priest. This is.
Did you really?
No. I went to Catholic school, but nothing like that ever happened to me. However, but that is who taught, health classes and stuff, and their ethos on sex was what was taught. And it's like, really, is that who we want making rules and advising our kids on proper sexual behavior?
I grew up on a farm, so I just learned watching the animals. Have you
Copulation.
seen horses? Have you seen horses do it?
It's aggressive. That's bad expectation setting on your part.
It's an eyeful.
I would imagine.
Have you seen a horse?
An eyeful. I want to ask.
Have you seen a horse wiener? They're ginormous.
Yes. Yes.
An erect one?
Not
the
since the last time I was online.
Okay, the geldings aren't doing it like a real stallion.
Okay, I get it. Your poor husband. Your poor husband.
The nostalgia in which you talk about horse
No,
boners
I just
right
remember
now.
being like, oh
Catherine
my God.
the Great, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that was, haters said that. She didn't really do that.
No.
Yeah. It says they couldn't handle having a woman in power. So they make nasty comments.
People don't like women. That's new.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah.
But we're so much fun. And pretty, and some of us smell good. Not all, not me, but some people do. Okay, this has gotten weird. Should we wrap it up? So, is there any takeaways?
I don't know. What do you got? I'm game.
We were like, okay, we were going to talk about rich people stuff and getting older. And I feel like it just got sad. So we need to make it happy.
Let's make it happy.
At the end.
My life's good. I'm happy. I'm old. I'm happy to be alive and 55 and feeling good for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my metabolism is a little slow. I wish I can put on weight like that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But.
You going to do Ozempic?
No, not unless I have to. Although I saw a buddy of mine, an older guy, he's probably 15 years older than me, and he just lost 54 pounds.
On Ozempic?
Yeah,
it's supposed to be like a miracle drug.
The shit works.
It does. They say it's good for perimenopausal women because we get insulin resistant during it. Not that.
Which means what?
Insulin resistant. That's like leading into diabetes, and you put on tummy fat.
Well, I mean, somebody said the other day that like I think we were at the club or something, and they were like, you realize how many people in here are taking this shit already? And I was like, I had no idea.
Right?
But like apparently it's already everywhere.
My endocrinologist said like she keeps trying to see if like it's bad for people, in every report that comes out like, oh, actually it helps you with your liver. It helps you with your heart. Well,
I mean, all these studies about, intermittent fasting and cell regeneration and all this kind of stuff, like every data point says if you eat less, you live longer and you're healthier and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the chemical side effects are of taking the drug. But
I think you poop your pants a lot. It's
like
you're just opening up the blowhole.
Those potato chips from the leaky bowel.
Potato chips. Yeah, it's like you have to stay home for 3 weeks at the beginning. No vacations, no long car rides.
I think that, I mean, like, look, if we all reduced our intake by 25%, that would be positive for almost all of us. Now, that doesn't mean that this is the way to do it. That's what cocaine is for.
I think that's a good one to go out. Just do more cocaine, everybody.
Do more blow, y'all.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine the hallucinations I would do. I would,
oh my God, your night terrors on blow. Kids have never done cocaine. It's a joke. Don't do cocaine when you go to your fancy New York private schools. Bad.
This is a nice ending. Thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me, as always. Lovely to see you.